Hello students, I am Aniket Kirsch and today I am going to start chapter 1 of class 11. The name of the chapter is Computer System Organization. So let's start. So first of all, what is computer? So from our childhood we know that computer is an electronic device, right? So what else is there in this? Other than there are many electronic devices, right? So computer is an electronic device which takes input from the user, process on it, and gives the desired output. Now, what kind of process it can do? It can do multiple tasks. It can do complex calculations, right? So we can define computer is an electronic device which takes input from the user, process on it, and gives desired output, right? Now, see, next, what is computer system? Computer system, in broad sense we will consider computer system is a combination of hardware, software, and in other sense we can include user also, right? So user perform user gives a command, right? User gives the instructions to whom he used to give instructions to the hardware, right? User gives instruction to the hardware with the help of software. So in a computer system, we will, it is a combination of hardware, software, and user also, you can say. So what is exactly hardware? Hardware is the physical components of the computer, which we cannot, sorry, hardware is the physical component of computer, which we can touch, see, or feel. For example, we can say this monitor is a hardware, keyboard is a hardware, hard drive is a hardware. All those components which we can touch is known as the hardware devices, getting, or hardware parts, we can say. Now next, what is software? Software is a set of instructions. Set of instructions means what? Set of instructions means program. So what is the example of that? Operating system. Operating system is there in your system. System means what? System generally we consider computer, right? So our computer is performing a task as we are giving instructions. How? Because there is one software installed in it, that is the operating system, right? So can you touch operating system? No, it is a software. It is a program which makes your system, well, which makes your computer run, right? In the same way, there are MS Office, we can say, MS Office package like MS Word, MS Excel, all these are programs. Can you touch it? No. So these are all softwares, example of softwares. So I think you understood what is hardware, what is software, how you can define it, right? And who is user? We are the users, right? Who is using this system? Who is giving commands? Who is giving instruction to the computer? Getting? Now, so what is computer system? It is a combination of hardware, software, and we can say user also, right? Now next, let's see the block diagram of the computer. So here, this is the input device, right? Input device, input units are what? Through input units, you give input to the computer. You give input to the computer. Then computer, what computer do? Computer processes on it and gives you the output, right? In how you used to give input to the computer using the input units. What all devices are known as the input unit? Keyboard. By typing in the keyboard, you are giving instruction to your computer. You are pressing A, you are pressing B. All these keys, by pressing all these keys, you are giving input to the computer. And mouse, what is mouse? Mouse is a pointer device. By moving mouse, you are giving input to the computer. You are clicking on some folder, and you are giving instruction to the system to open this folder. You are double clicking on any file or folder to open it. So what you are doing? You are giving instruction, right? So input units are the units or the devices to which you give input to the computer. You are giving instructions to the computer using the input unit. And the input units are keyboard, mouse, all these are what? Through which you are giving input to the computer, right? Now, the computer is having this instruction will go to the central processing unit. Central processing unit means microprocessor. Getting? Microprocessor is a processor which is responsible. This is a processing device which is responsible for processing all calculations, all arithmetic and logic calculations, right? So in this figure, in this block diagram, in CPU, you can see it is divided into different parts: arithmetic and logic unit, right? And control unit and memory unit. Mainly it is divided into ALU and CU, right? And memory unit is, obviously it will be there, memory is there, so that if you take an example of yourself, if you want to perform any task, then what you will do, you will first store that number. You are performing any, suppose you are performing any mathematical calculations. So what you are doing, you are first storing that numbers in your mind. Getting? After storing that numbers in your mind, you are after then you are adding it, right? And then the result will be generated in your mind. So what, in the same way here also, some memory. This is a machine, so here also we need memory. Okay, where we any storage kind of thing where we can store the numbers, and then on these numbers we can do some operations, and then the result will be we want to store that result also in somewhere in the memory, right? So memory unit, the use of the memory unit is that, okay, inside the CPU, the use of the memory unit is to store the whatever instructions users give to perform the task. Now, what is ALU, arithmetic logic unit? In the first in this partition, yeah, you can see arithmetic logic unit. So what is arithmetic logic unit? Arithmetic logic unit is the unit of CPU which is responsible for every arithmetic and logical calculations, right? So what kind of arithmetic and logic calculations you can see? This addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, all these are what? Arithmetic calculations, right? And what all are logical calculations? And operation, all operation, operations which are performed on a Boolean functions. These all are known as the logic operations. And or nor, all these gates you have seen, which operations are performed on the basis of true and false, right? Or we can say 0 and 1. So this is arithmetic logic unit. This unit is responsible for all arithmetic and logic calculations, right? Now, all arithmetic and logical operations. Now, what is we have seen memory unit, we have seen arithmetic and logic unit. Now, what is control unit? Control unit is the unit which is responsible for all the control of the system, whatever, from where to where data should be transferred, where to store the output, everything, all performance is done by this, all control is performed by this control unit, right? If input data is input instructions has been given by the user, where to store that, okay, how to perform that, to whom it should be sent to perform, to the ALU section it should be sent. Then if it will receive the output, where to store it in the memory, all from where to where data should travel, how it should travel, all these things, all these tasks are performed by this control unit. After user has given, who are users, we are users, right? We have given instruction to the computer, and that instruction is performed or processed in the central processing unit. It is processed in using the ALU and the memory unit and with the help of the control unit. And after the processing, the output is generated, right? And then that output is seen by us using what? Output units. Here is the use of output units. What all devices are known as the output devices? Monitor, printer, right? Suppose I have given an instruction here using the keyboard and mouse, right? Then the process is done by the CPU, and again it will generate the output, and that output will be seen by me using the output devices. And what are the output devices? Monitor, printer. There are some devices through which we give input to the computer, and there are some devices through which output can be seen by us. The output generated by the computer is seen by us. Okay, so what all things are the input? What all devices are the input devices? Keyboard, mouse, and many others I will tell you. And what are the output devices? Monitor, printer, and in the mid, there's a CPU, processor, right? Microprocessor, which perform all the processes. Takes means in from computer point of view, we can see that the computer is taking. If I am a computer, I am taking instruction from the user and I am processing on it and gives the output back. Getting? So this is the actual implementation how computer works, right? Now next. So input units, we have seen input unit. It takes input from the user and it takes input from the user. Input units are input devices are the devices to which we give input to the computer. Okay, or this here it is written, it takes input from the user, means who is taking input? Computer is taking input from the user. We are giving input to the computer. In any way, as per your convenience, you can write the definition, right? Now, see, how we will understand that what all are the input devices? The devices through which you are giving input to the computer, right? In keyboard, you are pressing the keys. So you are giving commands, you are giving instructions to the computer. And what is mouse? Mouse is also a pointer device. So by clicking, double clicking, single click, right click, you are giving instructions. You are implementing any task in your system, right? Now, what is this joystick? Joystick is when playing PlayStations or in video games, you use joysticks to play, right? So this is here you can see the picture of the joystick. So this is also an input device. You are moving the joystick and the event is happening inside the system. You can see that event in the monitor. In the monitor, you can see big screens are there, right? The LED monitors are there. In that, whatever you are doing with your joystick, you can see the event in your monitor. So what is this? You are giving input, you are moving the joystick and the event is happening inside the computer. You are clicking the mouse and the event is happening inside the computer. You are pressing the keys, and the event is happening inside the computer. And in case of a scanner, if you want to scan any picture or any photograph or any kind of any document, if you want to scan it, what happens? You scan the hard copy, right? And the soft copy of that is generated. Suppose any photo is with you and you want to send it to someone who is there in far away from you. So what you will do? You will scan that photo. So you will put your your hard copy of your photo in this scanner, and the soft copy of that photo or document will be generated. And now you can mail this photograph or document to your friend who is far away from you. Getting? So what is happening? You are converting any hard copy to soft copy. Means you are giving instructions so that it is converting that document. Something is going inside to the system, right? And something is going inside to the computer. So this is input device. And now let's talk about mic. You speak in mic and that goes inside the system. Speaker is different. Remember, speaker is the output device because the voice comes out from the speaker. But mic is what? Through mic is the input device through which whatever you speak, it goes inside the system. Whatever happens there is the other thing, and the voice comes out of the speaker. So speaker is the output device. Understood? Now let's talk about output unit. It receives data or output from the computer. Output units are like monitor. Whatever you are giving instructions, it will be processed and output will be shown with the help of monitor. So when you will see the monitor, you can see with the help of the monitor, you can see the output. So here in the definition, it receives data or output from the computer, or you can also define it as with the help of output devices, users can see the output. Getting? So there are many ways to define. If the concept is clear to you, you can frame the answers of your own. Okay. So first output device, the most common output device, the monitor, right? And then printer. How printer is the output device? like that of scanning. When you scan any document, it goes inside the system and soft copy is generated, right? So that is what? Something is going inside the computer, so it is input device. Now in case of printer, what happens? Suppose there is any document in your system, you have created any application or any letter in MS Word, and if you will take printout of it, what you are doing, you are converting soft copy to hard copy. Means something is there in your system and you are taking it out as a hard copy. Means system is giving you something, computer is giving you something, that is the output. Through monitor, computer is showing you that is, so monitor is output device. Speaker, we have just seen. Through mic, we are through mic you are speaking something on the mic, and through speakers the voice is coming out. You are playing a music, so what happens? Something is coming out, the voice is coming out. So this is output device. Speaker is also output device. Understood? Okay. Now next, central processing unit. What is central processing unit? Central processing, we have seen when we give input using the input units, and output comes out with the help of output units, output devices. But in mid between this input and output devices, there is one CPU, right? CPU, processing device. We call it CPU, right? CPU is a processing device. Remember, sometimes many students, write CPU as input device or output device, but not. CPU is a processing device. Why we call it a processing device? Because whatever input or instructions it get from the user, computer processes it in CPU, right? Get it? So CPU is also known as brain of computer. CPU is also known as brain of computer. Why it is called brain of computer? Because all the functions, input devices are just taking the input, output devices are just giving the output. But the main overall calculation, every function, every processing is done by what? This CPU processing. That is the microprocessor, right? Microprocessor. That's why it is called brain of computer. Now next, processing of data is performed here. Yes, we know every processing. This is the only place where the processing is done. Now it is made up of two components, ALU and CU. I have shown you. Here also in the picture you can see in a small picture. Input is given to the computer, and then it is processed. And what all things are there? Memory, control unit, and ALU. In ALU, operations are performed, and why memory is used? Because to do any operation, obviously we need memory, right? Suppose user has given two numbers for addition, so you can see, you also, if you add, you store these two numbers in your mind. In the same way, computers also, in computers we have to create logic like this. Whoever has created computer, whatever instruction will be given to the computer, it is first go inside the memory, then it is stored, then operations are done, then the output is stored somewhere else, and then it is shown to the user. Getting? Now next, this is arithmetic logic unit. What happens in arithmetic logic unit? It performs all the arithmetic and logic operations such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. All these are arithmetic kind of operations, right? And or, nor, XOR, all these are what? These are logic operations. Logic gates you have, I think, studied logic gates, right? Logic operations, and or, nor. So what happens in this? Boolean expressions are used. True and false or 0 or 1 is used to do the calculation in this logic operations, right? Now, control unit also we have seen, it controls all the operations of the computer system. It controls all the operations of the computer system, from where to where data should be travel. I think about the buses, right? Buses in the computer, right? Inside our CPU, buses are there, in which data travels. Buses are the wires through which data is transferred from one place to another. So from where to where data should be transferred, right? All these are done by the control unit. All this means from where to where data should be sent, where to store. Okay. Now next. Now let's talk about memory. Memory. is of two types, right? Memory, you know what is memory, right? Now memory is divided into two parts. What are they? What are they? Memory are of two types. First is primary memory, second is secondary memory. Primary memory, secondary memory. Primary memory is also known as the main memory. I'm telling you why. Primary memory is divided. Remember this thing. Primary memory and secondary memory. Only two types of memories are there. Now, primary memory is divided into two parts, RAM and ROM. Okay. But first remember, primary memory is also considered as a main memory because without primary memory, computer cannot function, right? You cannot do or use computer. You cannot do operations on a computer without having primary memory. But without secondary memory, your computer can be executable, right? So let me tell you what is primary memory. Primary memory is RAM or RAM. Getting? Primary memory is RAM or RAM, RAM or ROM. So let me show you. So see, it is also primary memory is also known as the main memory. It is of two types, RAM and ROM. Now, RAM stands for random access memory, ROM stands for read and only memory. So what happens in case of RAM? What is RAM? Whenever you start your computer, and whenever you start functioning on any software, suppose you are working on Paint, right? You are drawing something on Paint, and with that you are listening something. You are listening, song, and with that you are working on MS Word also. So you have opened three files together: Paint, MS Word, and you are listening songs also. So whatever you are opening on your system, whatever files or whatever functions you are doing on your computer, all these files will be opened in RAM. Okay, RAM is a kind of memory, random access memory. So this is a memory which is used while on the spot you work on something. You open any software, on an application software, all the whatever you are functioning on, all that softwares will be opened in RAM. Understood what exactly RAM is? So this is volatile in nature. Volatile in nature means, suppose you are working on Paint and suppose light goes off. Like, okay, electricity will be off, and your system will suddenly off. So what happens? That file in which you are working will be lost. That data, if you have not saved it, it will be lost. So this is volatile in nature. Means volatile means if you are working, then only it will it is usable. Otherwise, it will what? Data will be lost. Okay, on spot, whatever you are working will be opened in RAM, and this is read and write memory. Obviously, you are if you are working on MS Word, you can write, you can read, right? So this is read and write memory. This is random access memory. Understood? You have to remember this thing, this term, that whenever you are working on something, it will be opened in RAM, and if you will stop it, it will be the data will be clear. That your file will be clear from the RAM. Now next is ROM, read only memory, non-volatile in nature. Non-volatile means permanent, and in case of RAM, volatile means temporary. It will store the data temporarily in case of RAM, because if light goes, then your data will be lost. And in case of ROM, read-only memory, non-volatile in nature, means it is a permanent memory, and it is read-only memory. So what is ROM? Read-only memory. So what is the use of ROM? Operating systems. You have seen, right? When you start computer, when you switch on your computer, it will take some time, right? Something is loaded in your system. Something black and white you can see on the monitor, right? What is that? That is the operating system. When you switch on the computer's booting process starts, means switch on, operating system is loaded on the memory, and that is what ROM. That operating system is where? In the ROM, read-only memory. So to store operating system, for the functioning of operating system, ROM is necessary, and For working, for doing any task, RAM is necessary. So that's why we call primary memory as a main memory. And without this memory, our computer will not work. Now I will tell you what is secondary memory. It is a permanent memory. Okay. In case of primary memory is the main memory. In this primary memory, RAM is temporary, ROM is permanent. And in case of secondary memory, it is a permanent memory. And it is slower than that of the primary memory. Obviously, it will be slower. Now, by name itself, you can understand, right? Now, suppose you are working on MS Paint. You are working on MS Word or on the Paint, right? And after doing some particular task, you want to save that file. So what do? You go to the Save As option and you give some name to that file and you store it on the memory somewhere in C drive, D drive, or wherever you want, right? Or on desktop. So when you're saving it, where it is saved on desktop. No, sorry, on hard disk, right? Hard disk. Whatever, wherever you're saving means you are storing it on hard disk, because hard disk is a permanent memory. You are working, if you are working on Paint, your Paint is opened in RAM, and now you want to save that file. So that file will be stored where? When you will save it, it will be stored inside hard disk. Getting? And it is necessary, right? Whenever you do any task, you usually save it, right? Now next. Now storage units. Whatever is stored in the computer is stored in the form of 0 and 1, because computer is an electronic device, and electronic device understands only binary digits, binary language we can say, or binary digits, or 0 or 1, or we can say what? On and off. On for 1, 0, and off for 0. So 0, 1, on, off, binary digit, binary language, all these are same. So computer understands binary language, right? Whatever instructions we give to the computer is changed in the binary form, and then computer understands. And after processing on it, computer gives the output, and then that output is again changed in human language, right? So there is some mediators, there is some translators, right, in between the computer and us. Now, as computer is an electronic device, all the data are stored in the form of 0 and 1. In the memory, in the computer memory, all the data are stored in the form of 0 and 1. And whatever function or operations computer perform, all these are performed in the form of 0 and 1 only. Remember this thing. Okay. And the binary digits 0 and 1 are basically units of memory and are called bits, right? These are called 0 and 1 are called bits. Now here you can see 1 byte equal to 8 bits. 1 byte equal to 8 bits. You know, this movies of the 2 GB, we generally used to say this movies of 2 GB. My computer is having 1 TB memory. I can store a lot of data in my computer. It's memories of 1 TB. So what is this? How you will calculate? What does it mean? 1 byte means 8 bits. 1 kilobyte, 1 KB means 1024 bytes. 1 megabyte means 1024 KB. How all these are calculated? You just 2. Why we have written 2 here? Because the base of the binary digit is 2. Because we have 0 and 1, only 2 digits. So base is 2, and 2 to the power 10 for kilobyte, 2 to the power 24 megabyte. So 1024 bytes, 1024 KB. In this way it is calculated, right? 1 byte equal to 8 bits. Okay. Now next. So all this is the way to store the data, right? Now let's talk about softwares. What do you know about software? Software is that part of computer which we cannot touch, right? Like that of operating system and this MS Word. So software is a set of instructions. Software is a set of instructions, or we can say programs to operate computer or to perform a task on computer, right? So Softwares, in other sense, if I will explain, so what happened in case of software, you know, is a set of, you know, instructions. Means you are writing something, you are writing a program, okay, and that program will tell the computer what to do, right? So this is a software. Now, software is divided into two parts. One is system software and another is application software. So, what is system software? Now, system software are those softwares which make your system to perform functions, right? So, system softwares are the softwares which, you know, makes your system run. Make your system run means what? Makes your computer run, right? So without system software, can your computer execute or work? No. Systems. So what will be the example of what we can see the example of the this system software? Operating system, right? Operating system is a system software which makes the system run. Getting? It is a special program, or it is designed to run a computer hardware. You are able. So how we will define operating system? It is an interface between the user and hardware. Operating, we call operating system. It is a interface between the user and hardware, because whatever instruction user is giving to make the hardware perform that operation and takes the output and show the to the user, all this what? All these functions are performed by the operating system, right? It is an interface between the user and hardware. So system, that's why it is called system software. It is making the system run. It is taking input from the user and giving the system, and after processing it is taking you know, helping in the processing of the computer, and then takes the output and showing it to the computer, to the user. Every operations, everything is done by what? Operating system. Getting? So that's the system software. Now next is application software. What is application software? Your these softwares are, you know, made for a specific task. Like you can see MS Word. You work on MS Word. You work on Paint. So in Paint you are drawing something. So you are drawing that you know, picture for some particular purpose, for your purpose. This software is not to run the system, to run the computer. This is for a specific task which is you know, required by you. You need to perform some task. You want to maintain you know, some kind of you know, table. You want to maintain timetable in your you know, computer. So what, in which software you will work? Is spreadsheet, that is MS Excel. You will work on MS Excel. You will create any timetable and all. So why you are creating timetable? For your purpose, you need it, right? So in medical stores, if you see, they used to feed the, you know, customer details, or they used to maintain the details of the medicines they have. So what are all these? They are maintaining any software, right? So that so what kind of software that is? It is an application software. They are using that software to feed the records of the medicines and all in their shop, right? So these are application software. Understood? And system software is to run the system, which is required to make the hardware you know, perform the task or work, start works, right? Now see, so that's it. Let's discuss what we have you know, seen today. So first we have seen what is computer. It is an electronic device which takes the input from the computer, processes on it, and gives the desired output. It can perform complex operations and all these things we have seen in computer. Now computer system, we have seen how input is given to the computer using the input devices, then how CPU processes on it using the you know, control unit, ALU unit, and this memory unit. All this, with the help of all this, processing it is done, and after that output is given with the help of output units like that of monitor, printer, right? Now next we have discussed about the you know, hardware and software. What is hardware, what is software, why we call this software as software. Now input output units, we have seen how it is considered as input device, how the other devices are considered as output device. Now what is CPU, processing, central processing unit. Now ALU, control unit, arithmetic logic unit, logical operations like that of you know, and all operations, and addition, subtraction, all these arithmetic operations are performed using the ALU, right? Now memory are of two types: primary memory, secondary memory. Primary memory is the main memory, RAM, ROM. RAM is temporary, ROM is permanent. In secondary memory, we have seen secondary memory is the hard disk, right? We used to store data permanently. RAM is temporary, ROM is permanent. Temporary, we call it volatile memory. Non-volatile means permanent. ROM is permanent, right? Now, in storage units, we have seen how data are stored in a digital form in the form of 0 and 1. We have seen in the form of bits. 0 and 1s are called bits. 1 KB, 1 GB, how it is calculated, we have seen. And then in last, we have seen softwares, right? What kind of softwares we know: system software and application software. What are system softwares? Softwares which are used to run the system. And what are application softwares which are used for some specific task by the user. So that's it for today. Thank you.